Hey Svitlana,
Hello, Arne.
how are you in cold Ottawa?
I'm doing great. It's not that cold, but I've already told you we had a bit of snow in
Mhm.
in the past few days. Just a tiny amount, but still exciting, which I didn't know about because I haven't been out in forever.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Only found out later.
you're so busy with your studies and all the other projects you have. So, yeah, it's part of things which you sacrifice. But have you ever built a snowman before? Yes, of
Yes,
course.
of course. I mean, I live in Canada after all.
Yeah, but even yeah, no, in Odessa it was always very warm. Yeah, but this is why I was asking because I think it's always snowing in the Canada areas, right? It's never like there's like a winter where it goes like, well, this was like a couple of
Yeah,
snowy
there's
days.
there's never there's never a winter without the snow.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool actually. We don't have that in
Is it not
Germany
like that in
anymore.
Germany?
Not in all parts. I think. Well, I haven't been in Germany to Germany for a long time too, but there are sometimes only a couple of days or maybe a week or 2 weeks of snow when you count November to, let's say, March. It's yeah,
You
it
know,
changed.
I always hear people from the countries where it doesn't snow as much. They think like, wow, snow is so great and it's so exciting. Aren't you excited about it? And I'm not exactly when it's here 6 months a year.
I, yes, absolutely. Yeah, this is the thing. If you are having a bit too much of anything, whatever it is, you
Mhm.
you can't have a piece of cake every single day. Talking about piece of cake, what kind
Your
of smart
transitions
moves do
always.
you have? It's no segue at all to chess, but yeah, I thought like I'll try it. Nobody will notice. It's just our little secret.
Yeah. Okay, so let me share the screen first and then
Ah,
we're
yeah.
gonna
Alrighty.
see. Can you see it?
I can. So I will quickly adjust our pictures. Okay, what do we have here? This looks like it's been so yeah, shall I guess which opening this was? Is this possible to
Oh,
notice?
you're right away trying to get into the position.
Hmm.
But you don't, do you see who the players are of this game?
Oh my gosh. That's a
So
great idea to pick those guys. I think they're pretty good in chess, yeah.
yeah, they might be. There I hear a lot of talk about the World Championship match, which starts very, very soon,
Indeed.
November 24th, I think it is, in Dubai, and I think it will be a very exciting battle. Have you heard much of the like statistics of their head-to-head encounters? And well, do you have any predictions or someone that you're rooting for?
Well, I think I'm asking this people a couple of times, and I guess people are normally, uh, well, Carlsen is the favorite, but Nepomniachtchi has chances. That's like it doesn't mean anything. It's like
Yeah, right. You can say that
Italy's
about
playing
anyone. Yeah.
against Brazil football, and then Brazil is the favorite, but Italy has chances. Yeah, we know. Everybody knows
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
So I will say Nepomniachtchi will win.
So you want to cheer
I just want to be a
for
rebel,
the
I guess.
yeah, you want to be a rebel. I
Yes,
see.
just go against all those people who go like, "Oh, Carlson's gonna
Right.
win" and stuff like that. So
hmm
no,
hmm
I
Yeah,
yeah. What
I
about you?
think it's
Yeah.
the first time in a while where I don't really have someone that I'm rooting for exactly,
Mhm.
but I'm just here for interesting games. That's kind of my approach because it's just interesting. But it's the first time in a while where I don't actually really know who to root for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
I like your approach much more on how to look at this by just saying, I want to see interesting and good games, which is very likely with those two guys. I will steal
Mhm.
this from you and use this from now on if people will ask me.
Yeah, that's when you don't want to pick a side. That's what you say.
Yeah, then I don't want to
Yeah.
pick a side again.
Have you heard much of the statistics of how they've played in the past and what their encounters have been?
I've listened a bit to it. So Daniel King has his Power Play show on YouTube, and he's having like every couple of days he's showing a video about Magnus Carlsen, Jan Nepomniachtchi, about their encounters, about some interesting games, even when they were meeting the very first time ever. And yeah, that's another point which obviously speaks for Nepomniachtchi. His stats are very good against Magnus overall, and it's always very scary if they have duels. And the games were always very interesting too. So,
right. Yeah, I saw your show with Daniel King, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I had a short interview because, of course, we have the Magnus Carlsen Masterclass DVD, which we were renewing, and that's why I had an interview, just for you to know.
Yeah, cool. Well, I looked it up a bit, just to know why there's so much talk about their head-to-head score, and I found around like 70 to 80 official games that they've played. This is including Rapid and Blitz too, but not including any
bullet shit,
any just bullet things. No, but still including official Blitz and Rapid tournaments. So guess who has a better score when it's classical and Blitz and Rapid?
So as far as I know, it is Carlsen still, but just by a tiny bit only, right?
It is still in favor of Carlsen. He has, out of 77 games that I found, it was 23 wins for Carlsen, 40 draws, and 14 wins for Nepomniachtchi.
Yeah.
So still...
It's Nepomniachtchi, right?
Well, in Russian, it's Nepomniachtchi.
It sounds much better.
Yeah, it's a very tough one to write. I don't.
Right. Yes.
I even saw some Carlsen video where Carlsen, I think, couldn't spell it.
Saw the same exactly. Well, yeah. Well, Carlsen did this on purpose, obviously.
Yeah, of course, just to demoralize your opponent before the.
And Nepomniachtchi,
that Nepomniachtchi guy.
Nepomniachtchi wrote Carlsen with a K, probably.
Yeah. And what about classical? Who do you think has a better score in that?
And I think there it is almost similar, if not even exactly equal or something like that? Or does even Nepomniachtchi have a better score?
Nepomniachtchi has a better score in that. So they've only played 13 classical games, which is really not a lot for such top-level players who have been around for so long. But many of these classical games were played in like youth events, which were ages ago. And interestingly enough, they were both born the same year. So it's not a surprise that they've met over the board many times at many youth championships when they were children. So under 12, under 14, and all of these European and world championships. So most of their head-to-head games come from a while back, but you might still count for something. You know, it's
oh, definitely.
It still makes sense to include those. So the result was only 1 win for Magnus, 7 draws, and 4 wins for Nepo.
That's a shocker, actually. I didn't know that.
It is quite a big margin, but well, like I said, I think most of these wins, maybe 3 of them were from a long time ago. But still, it's
wow, scary.
I don't think anyone else in the world can really brag about such a big positive score against Magnus, right?
I think, yeah, not in that amount of games. I believe there are like a couple of scores where there's 3 or 4 games or 2 games where there's a positive score, but these are like really, really exceptional. So yeah, Nepomniachtchi has a great score. That's true.
So yeah, that's why I think the match is going to be really exciting and a lot closer than a lot of people say it's going to be. So what I did for today is I collected just some little tactics from all of their previous encounters over the years. So today you'll be just solving some tactics from their games, and anyone who's watching can also solve along and see if you can beat Arne in how many he scores.
Hey, you have no chance at home. Okay, just kidding. Let's see. Good. Maybe, yeah, let's make it a time duel. Who gets the result quicker? Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, you're ready? Okay, so in this first game, this was a classical game. Magnus was white and Nepo was black. And Jan just played bishop b4, which turns out to be a mistake. And he missed a tactic, but Magnus didn't miss that tactic as well. So my question is, would you be able to find it? What do you think is the tactic here? Can you play better in their shoes?
Since I'm doing, like, I have the feeling the last couple of weeks or months has been a tactical massacre for me. I've been doing so many tactics. I have a little tactic app. I'm doing tactics all the time. I'm enjoying it big time. So I think I spotted it.
So quick, okay.
If you haven't a guess yet at home, just quickly pause the video. Think about it a little bit, and then once you are sure you got it, then maybe unpause it. So what you can see immediately is that that the knight on f6 is also protecting the bishop on d7. So if I get this knight away, or the queen away, or something like this, I can win a piece at least. And I think it's bishop takes h6.
Yeah, you're right. So bishop takes h6 is the first move, and that's a tactic that I guess both of the players missed because Magnus didn't play it. Okay. I guess the question is, what happens on g takes h6?
So now I would. I thought about it a bit wrongly, I guess. Interesting.
That's what I thought, because you solved it so quickly.
Yes.
So the second move, then try to think about what.
I hope you didn't pause your video for no reason right now. Well, now comes to mind rook e4. It looks sexy.
Rook e4. You are right about the idea. It's going to come back a bit later too.
Is it too quick? Yeah, that's what I thought.
It is too quick. So the better move is knight to e4. So you were really close.
Oh,
but knight to e4.
That is clever.
Right? Because black cannot take. There's mate on f7.
That's
and
nice.
In case of bishop e7, it is a bit tougher here. But we can incorporate your rook e4 idea just in a bit of a different way.
Okay, so what would happen? Is this enough already? If I take the knight, the bishop takes, and then the rook to e4, I don't see. I mean, the bishop can always go to g5, and maybe the king can sneak out.
Or g7, there. The bishop can come back to g7. So yeah, we're talking about
g7 is even easier, exactly.
And yeah, I think it's not too bad for black if this happens. It's still not great, but not too bad.
Okay, so but if I take the knight, the bishop takes, and then the rook goes to e4.
I don't think that is it.
Also the same. Okay, but what happens if? Okay, yeah. Well, it's just I just take on d7, right? No,
you can. I can take back.
I can take. You can just take back with. Can you take back? You have to take back with the queen, but I don't think you have to take back. I think you can just leave this knight there and take on e4.
Take on e4? You're right. Yeah.
That's the trick. Yeah. Because if you take back, that might really win a piece in this case. And right now we have a piece less. So
but I see you've been trying to incorporate this idea with the rook lift.
So hard.
And now one of the ideas is just to play rook e3.
Oh no.
And slowly just tough. Create more threats and because you're not risking much just yet. I mean, yes, you're down a piece for now.
Yeah.
But I mean, while you still have that king opened up, you can allow yourself just another move to bring it up.
The knight cannot move, so that's the big part of the plan. Yeah. That
True.
Looks quite nice.
So yeah, there were many other winning good moves instead of rook e3, but that's just one of the ideas. So I think the tough part was probably finding these knight e4 first, and then the continuation after that, bishop e7.
Yeah.
So that was the tough part to evaluate. There was also bishop to c3, which might have been another reason why Magnus didn't go for this tactic. And in this case, we are of course taking and capturing on h6. And the problem is that, well, now there's no knight e4 idea. So this might have been his concern. But there's quite a simple win here with just queen g3 and knight f7.
Okay,
And this looks
that'll
pretty
win a
good.
nice piece. Oh, yeah, maybe even more. No, maybe
Yeah,
not.
you can always win back some material with knight d6, or if not, you can even try to go for checkmate.
Yeah, knight d6 is difficult because the rook will go to g8, I guess.
But okay, I'm not sure if knight d6 is the best move, but can't you just give a check and then take the rook if you want the material?
Thank you, Svitlana. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I'm not even sure white wants the material. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
maybe you're better off like with a rook left or something like that. But anyway, bishop h6 was a really good chance to open up the king and get an attack going. And of course, the computer really likes it a lot better than Magnus's move. So Magnus played rook e3 right away, which does make a lot of sense. But apparently, there was a mistake here. And later the game even ended up in a win for Nepo. But in this particular situation, it's about equal. So that was the tactic, and we're gonna be doing these quickly.
Well,
so I have a lot.
I failed already. That wasn't so
nice.
I got the first.
You found the first move. You found the first move. So maybe I'd give you half a point for that.
Half a point. Okay. How about you at home? Did you find this combination? It was very difficult.
I think if you find bishop h6 plus knight e4, you can count it.
Yeah, knight e4. I messed it up. I didn't even look at the knight. That was. I'll do better now. Okay.
Okay, so this time, also a classical game, and this is Magnus's only win so far against Nepomniachtchi ever in the classical game.
Doesn't even look that clear to me. I don't know. Maybe it does.
And yeah, it only happened in 2019. So the first time he beat him was not so long ago. Anyway, so Magnus just played f5. And let's verify if he would make the same mistake as Nepomniachtchi made in his game. So which pawn would you take with? E pawn or the G pawn?
Well, I mean, it's super tempting to take with the E pawn to open the line on E and just get a rook over there. But probably, if it's so obvious, it must be wrong. So I guess taking with the G pawn was correct, which looks super weird to me.
That's what Jan thought as well, and it was wrong.
Wow. Well,
so just no points for you this time. It was better to capture with the E pawn, and because after bishop d4,
yeah,
it looks quite scary to go for this. But if you just calculate until the end here and realize that your king is quite safe here on h3. Then you can realize that you're totally fine. This bishop is doing a good job defending everything, and so is the rook. And for now, black has no attack. Well, he does have an attack, but he has no serious threats. So everything would be fine. So that is why e takes f5 was the better choice.
Yeah.
So G takes f5. You expected it to be fine, and probably
no. I expected it to be. It has to be G because E was so obvious for me, but because I mean after exactly G4
sometimes it's better to go for the obvious thing,
Yeah, maybe.
Just what your intuition tells you, what your heart tells you.
Okay, next time I will listen to my heart too. Gosh, right. I just got half a point. I'm not as good as Carlsen and Nepomniachtchi. That's what it tells me. Okay.
Well, Nepomniachtchi made the same mistake, if that makes you feel better.
A little.
Yeah.
And he has a better score against Carlsen anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. So G4 is the whole answer to the problem. G4 is the problematic move here that you had to find to refute G takes f5. So after G4, the problem is that the queen is coming to H4, and from here, it does have a lot more threats than if it came from here, and then the king could just safely hide. Here, it's not possible to safely hide, and the king will stay in the center forever. So the game continued with queen H4, queen h2, and here Nepomniachtchi even resigned because he is just getting mated, losing material. Everything is happening. So, for example, if the king takes, then queen h5 wins the rook, and that should be over. So this was the critical moment, and that was our tactics. So,
oh gosh,
That was the first, and I told you to this day the only win that Magnus has in classical chess against.
And with black.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see a lot of their games are wins for black. Okay,
Oh,
so next one, also we're going to do it for black. This was, again, we're doing it for Nepo's side. Nepo is black. So this is very high tension position, and there's only one correct way to continue for black. What would your move be?
Well, it has to be queen h4, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. But okay, so queen h4, your point is you want to play knight g3.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that was the idea.
Okay, so did you calculate anything related to queen b7?
I didn't. I didn't even see
because that would worry me a bit.
I just wanted to be super cool and super quick with this.
Okay, I'll give you another chance. I'm not going to give you a 0 yet, but...
Oh, that's so kind of you. Okay. Now, how about queen h4? I'm just kidding.
When you don't learn from your mistakes.
Yes, exactly. So what to do? Poof. Well, there is another move which comes to... I'm just speaking. I'm not making the move yet, but I'm thinking of rook a to b8. Looks quite interesting. What else can
that's a natural move. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Like this like instinct move. Does queen h4 really not? Okay. So how about... Wait, okay, what kind of knight can go there? The knight can move. Maybe.
Only one correct way to continue for black.
Gosh, how is it for you at home? Do you know this?
No, this move is tough. This one is a bit harder, I think. But just one move, it's all it takes. Once you see the idea, you'll know why.
Yes. Oh boy. Bragging about how good I am with tactics, how many I'm doing, and then complete failure. Well, no, I'm not convinced, but knight g5 is a move I'm thinking of, and
knight g5 is a move, but aren't you gonna lose a piece on b7 once again? Because bishop takes, queen takes, and queen b7.
Oh gosh, I didn't even see that the
bishop is just haunting you in every variation.
Actually guarded by the queen.
Right. Yeah.
Because I wanted to give a check on f3, but that's not an option. No.
So just think about it. Right now, there is a threat on knight, so we want to be prepared for if white ever takes it. And the threat on the knight is not even maybe taking it right away, but even just moving away the bishop. Like next move, I might even play bishop f4, and then the knight is there unprotected. Yeah. But the knight is fine. Don't play with the knight.
Oh. Well, no, I mean... I'm so triggered. I'm so sad I can't get it right now. I'm thinking of maybe going with the queen to d7 maybe.
And what's the idea?
Then going to h3 or getting the rook to a4, which is
okay, you got it. You have the full point now. So it is queen d7. It wasn't an easy move to see, right?
I don't take that though, because I cheated a little bit because I saw the green spot earlier too.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have to.
But still, you found the ideas. So found the reasons why we played.
So kind, Svitlana. How can? I'll just take half a point still from 3.
Okay, half a point. Okay, fine. Well, you do know I teach children. I have to be a really kind coach. I'm using the same approaches on you.
I think that's a very good idea for me, though. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so the idea, the rook going to a4. This is the thing, of course, which makes a lot of sense to me.
That is the main point of queen d7.
Yeah.
So you want to get out of the way of this rook. So like I said, one of white's ideas is, well, let's say you play something like rook b8. One of white's ideas is just to move the bishop, and now the knight is under a much bigger attack and you won't be able to move it away. So that was white's idea, and it was tough to find what exactly works against it. And the only move that works, that gives black an advantage and doesn't give them a really bad position, is queen d7 with the idea of rook a4. So the game continued with bishop f4. By the way, this is still a classical game, so this is a very serious battle still.
Crazy, yeah.
And so rook a4, of course, happened. White could not have taken right away, because now rook a4 and bishop e4, queen g4 is coming with.
And now I'm again, because you do not have to take. So what happens then? Because I cannot see the real continuation after here.
And the real continuation is that, well, you first had to not lose the knight. That was the main goal of the tactic, because or else you're just losing. So next you're gonna try to capitalize on the fact that you have a really great bishop here on the long diagonal. So we're gonna do your queen similar to your queen h3 idea. Here he played queen g4, but I even think queen h3 might have been better.
Ooh.
So it was just a fancy queen g4 move,
like showing off a bit, like,
yeah,
look what I can do, and you can do anything against it.
Yeah, and one more tactic. This one is not tough. I'm sure you're going to see it.
We just take the knight.
Yeah, we just took the knight. It's not that clear.
No?
But
okay.
We're going to take on f3.
Yeah, we're
Still not a mate, because he can just sacrifice the exchange back.
Sure.
And they arrived at this position where black does have better chances because, of course, of the exposed king. Still, the advantage is not that huge, but Nepomniachtchi ended up winning this game still. And that was... You did solve their key moment here when it was very high tension. So let's move to the next one. Maybe I'm doing these too quickly, but
no.
Trying to make it a speed tactic.
That's super. It's super interesting and cool. So I'm fairly enjoying it. Also, it gives us a little bit of a bit more hype for Mr. Carlsen and Mr. Nepomniachtchi. So
yeah. Okay, so this one, again, we're solving it as black, but this time you're playing from Magnus's side. So this is already rapid game, so getting a bit faster there. We're getting, from now on, we'll be getting more into their blitz and rapid battles, which are usually even more tactical than their classical ones. In this position, white made a not so apparent mistake with his last rook d5 move. Can you determine what is the weakness of that move and how can black use it?
Well, interestingly enough, I thought of d5, so I understand why the rook went to d5, or the idea about it. So
maybe f5 was also, I think, at some point, not when the king is on g8, of course, but at some point,
I see
black did want to attack.
I see c6, queen takes
c6. And what is the continuation after queen c6?
Then the queen goes to a7.
Very good. Rook d2. You have to give it to me till the end.
I gotcha. So, of course, there was the threat of queen f2, but there should also be a mate threat, I hope. No, I'm just winning a piece, I think. So, queen a2 check. Queen a1 check.
Good.
Rook a2 check.
Good.
Yeah. Knight take... queen takes e1.
Yeah. And we can win a bunch of pawns.
Yes, exactly.
That is the end of it. It's a bit anticlimactic because you're expecting some sort of mate, but
there's no mate. I mean, queen b1 doesn't work. So I thought about actually I thought it might go mate after queen takes g3, but pawn is good.
Yeah. No, a few pawns and it's just a very dominating position with a king like that. So you solved the first part of it. that was the idea of the c6 move, to open up the space for the queen to swing over and start to checkmate black. And you did it till the end. You didn't. That one is fully yours.
It's a full point.
One more thing, though.
Oh no.
Rook d4. What happens here?
Isn't it just d5? That must be.
Yes, it is d5 now. So that was your idea all along, and now it's coming with even more force. The pawn cannot take because the rook on e1 is hanging. So they have to retreat with the queen. And now our queen goes back in to a3. And once again, we can give a lot of checks. We can try to mate, but there's no mate. So we'll just take a pawn for now and try to checkmate later.
Can I ask? Sorry, I'm seeing queen b4 as a defense earlier.
You mean here?
Yeah.
Queen b4. Well, what about c5?
Oh yeah, that's a very good idea. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So thanks. C5 is here. I thought you were talking about queen b4 later. I thought you saw the notation, but you didn't.
Oh,
but
no, I don't see it because we're covering it.
You want to know how the game ended? So here, of course, black is completely winning. The king is horrible. Extra pawns, maybe even some mate threats soon. And Magnus mouse slipped to queen b4. At least that's what it says in my database.
Wow.
Yeah. So it happens. It even happens to the best players.
Yeah, but I mean, a mouse slip is a mouse slip, right?
Unless but this was still a serious rapid tournament. It's not like it's bullet or anything. It's still.
That's tough. Yeah. Oh wow. And then he just gave up, right?
And he resigned. Yeah.
Yeah, because he.
I mean, honestly, I think in this case, like, if that ever happens, like I guess at a high level event or something, and you respect your opponent, I don't know. I think you could offer a draw. Do you remember that whole story with how who was it? There was a young player who offered Gelfand, I think, a draw after Gelfand mouse slipped. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was it even? I think it was Duda. I think
No, I don't think it was Duda.
Okay.
No, it wasn't.
I think Duda had a similar situation or something.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, there have been a lot of similar situations since a lot of chess moved online. So yeah, that was a famous story, and the opponent offered a draw, and it was considered really noble. But I guess sometimes players just accept, like, okay, that's just how it is. I'm going to resign, and I'm not going to make my opponent, do this whole ethical decision.
Exactly. Yes. This is what I think often happens if you resign after the mouse slip immediately, to not give the opponent a burden to think about, like, should I not? You just resign. Have you ever had a mouse slip in an important game?
I don't think I've played that many super important things online. I've played the online Olympiads, but I didn't have mouse slips there, I don't think. Okay. But yeah, there was I did play some qualifiers or some world youths at on Tornello, and on this one I did have mouse slips. It's a pretty interesting website, and I hear a lot of people like having stories about like some time just running out and things like that.
What? Okay. Okay. Yes.
But a lot of qualifiers are done through that website. So on that website I did have some mouse slips, but I don't think it's the website, it's just me.
Fair enough.
So yeah. But yeah, so that looks like a very painful mouse slip. But anyway, the game was, of course, winning for black, and you found the tactic. So you do get the full point for this one.
So I have 1.5 out of 4. Meh.
Yeah, you do. Okay, no, you have 2 out of 4. I gave you a half a point for that queen d7.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
Thanks.
So this next one also either a rapid or a blitz, and after some Grunfeld theory, so Nepomniachtchi is black. After some Grunfeld theory, the two arrived at the following position, and Jan played queen b8, which was quite a tactical miss by him, which is unusual for a player as good as him. But can you see how to punish this tactical miss?
Wow. Can we? So it's for white, right? Can we
Yeah.
swap?
Oh yeah, yeah. Sure.
Flip the board, not
Yeah.
swap. Okay. Isn't it just f4? Don't I just win a knight?
F4. I'm gonna play knight g4.
Oh, okay.
And there
Oh,
is a
yeah, yeah,
tactic
yeah, yeah.
here. Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Don't get caught into it.
Ah, that's why he played that subtle move. No, he cannot be that stupid to go like me. Okay. So then I think, that's nice. So by that, I still think that's the original plan. We just have to make a move before. And I
Right.
guess it's d6.
Yeah, it is d6. So it's not that difficult to find after you find the main idea already. So you found the idea that the knight is looking like it might get trapped in the future. So what you do is you just prevent black's idea with d6. It's a very good tactical motif to remember. I guess that does happen quite a bit where it's like we can come up with a lot of themes for it, like interception or something like that, where you block the opponent's idea. So now, after the mandatory capture, you can play f4, and the knight is fully trapped and has nowhere to go. And pretty simple win of a piece for Carlsen. And here he didn't even bother taking the piece for like a few more moves. He just played some rook e1, like king b1, a4. He didn't even bother taking it because
they're trolling each other the whole time.
Yeah. And so you found this one. You're doing good so far. Okay. So that was fairly unexpected tactical miss from Nepo, but you can't judge them. It's blitz and rapid, so it's not. Still, everyone misses things there. So this one is a Grand Prix rapid. So this one is an over the board rapid. So this is in this really unusual position, I would say. It looks like it's taken straight out of a tactics book, with just the pawn on f2 and the pawn on v6 are a bit unusually placed. So here, it's still a very complicated position, and Magnus found a series of very, very precise moves to win this. So he often needed to find some only moves. And this one is not easy, probably one of the harder ones. But to be fair, you don't have that many options either, so you're only going to have to consider a few candidate moves. So which ones would you consider here to play as black? White just played h4 and attacked your bishop.
Very naughty. So I'm trying to calculate queen takes d5, h takes g, then bishop h3, bishop takes, and then e3, and the bishop goes back. But I don't think... And then the queen takes on g5. But then the bishop goes to h3, I guess. And everything should be fine.
What happens if I'm just wondering, what happens if I just take on e4 in the first place? Might not be good, but what if I do?
Yeah, that's also
maybe it's not that. Yeah, maybe not that great. But queen d5 is not it.
No.
But still, I guess good to consider. So you were...
Yeah, let's just take a quick look at it, but I don't think it is it. So, yeah, you take, and then bishop h3.
Oh, you wanted bishop h3. I thought you wanted to take the other knight, which would have been fine.
No.
Okay, bishop h3. You want to be fancy? Okay. Queen h. So you're probably right.
Forget it.
But this doesn't work.
No. I'm just seeing knight e7.
Oh, that's also true. Right.
What is wrong with me? Oh boy.
Oh, it's fine. You offered the solution and you solved it for yourself.
Yeah, this was not the real solution. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not queen d5.
Oh wow. What a movie. Okay. Now what else? What else? So what do I want here? What is I see the mate threat. I think this is a motive I should keep in mind maybe. This looks this stings the eye. Then of course, but there's also some other threats with the pawns maybe being able to advance fully. So if I can get all right, so what about... No, that doesn't work. Oh, does that work maybe? So I'm calculating. Bishop takes h4. What? Then bishop a6. What? I guess the...
Oops, sorry. Not queen f2.
No, I'll take the queen, yeah.
I meant to take here.
And then the final magic trick should be the queen will attack h4, but where? h5 or f4 probably.
f4. Yeah, so this is one of the lines to consider.
Okay.
It is apparently supposed to be equal. I'm not sure if that's just the computer eval or if there's actually a perpetual. So this is supposed to be equal. I wonder how white can defend against it. So maybe bishop h3.
I think bishop h3, as this was this original idea I had earlier, because the king can get out to g2, and it might be
fine. Well, king
check.
g2, and I'm not seeing the mate. I do agree that this looks pretty good, but also if you don't really bring up anything specific, then you're down a lot, like 2 pieces.
Yeah, and the idea is rook f3, but the queen will give checks.
Right. You can also have to worry about this queen here. Yeah, so this is why I guess you have to go for the perpetual.
Yeah.
And that's why this is considered a draw.
Damn it.
Computer, it is equal.
Okay.
So I do think that this is about a draw.
But it was a nice idea.
It was a nice idea, and you do have really similar ideas to keep in mind later. So here it's just a different move. It's not bishop h4.
Well, then how about... Well, what if we... No, that doesn't work either. That's a tough one, isn't it?
It is one of the hardest ones.
How about you at home? Have you found it out? You probably know this game already. I believe there must be some experts there. And they are studying the Carlsen Nepomniachtchi games non-stop.
They're getting ready for the match.
Yes. And I completely understand. If chess is as big a hobby as it is for you at home, which I hope it is, because it's a special and beautiful hobby, then you will probably check those games. Just like you, Svitlana.
Yeah.
Just like you. Okay.
Yeah, I've been reading some statistics articles because they always come up and they're like, so who has the higher percentage of winning here? What is the percentage that they're going to go into tiebreak?
That will decide the match outcome. Who is?
Of course. I should start reading conspiracy theories too soon.
Okay. Svitlana, I have to think of a move now. The last minute of time of thinking. Yeah. So. Okay, now, I like this bishop a6 so much.
You keep it for later.
How can I use it to my advantage? So what about e3? A very silent move.
Yep, you got it. So e3 is the move.
Nice.
It's the only move that gives black a win, but it's still not done. It's there's still hard parts to find. So h takes g5, of course, happens.
Now it's time for the bishop maneuver.
It's not just yet.
No.
And I'll tell you why. It's really hard to see. But bishop a6 looks very good, right?
Yeah.
Because white isn't allowed to take. There's queen h5 with a mate. So that's probably your idea, and I completely
Yes.
understand that. But there is an intermediate move, g6,
Oh,
which
you.
ruins the entire thing.
What we had
Um,
earlier.
ruins the entire thing because you either, like, if you take the queen, then you just didn't really achieve much, right? So you just made some trades, and this one is
You will
apparently
lose.
equal because you give up the exchange and then you win the
Oh.
exchange on b8. Complicated. But the point is that you're not allowed to take here either because of knight e7. So g6 is that little move that ruins everything. So it's not bishop a6 just yet.
Mm-hmm.
So what else could it be? Because if you don't find it, then you're losing the pawn on e3. You just lost the piece and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really going well.
Cannot be. No. Wow, 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 wow. Is it another silent move like rook e8?
It is. You got
Oh,
it. So
nice.
that was really tough to see. I think this is actually the hardest move of
I was
of the
lucky.
position. Yeah, rook e8. Well, like I told you, this is a really tough position, but also at some point you run out of options.
Yeah, that's the
that
thing, I guess. Yeah.
that you just go for whichever looks the best. So rook e8, again, the only winning move here, and he found it. Nepo continues with king h2. Again, there's only one winning move here left. So you have to find the last thing of the sequence.
Why are those players so good? Ugh.
And this is rapid too. Imagine you have to know all of this in rapid. I bet they were in time trouble and he just took like 5 seconds and got it.
Now, bishop a6.
No.
No. Why?
Bishop a6. I told you it's a good idea, but you have to calculate specifically if it doesn't work, and it doesn't, because queen takes a6.
E2.
E2 looks great if only it wasn't for b7, and white is winning.
You gotta be kidding me. This is winning for white?
Yes, it is. Because I'm gonna promote on b8. No. Yes. Yes.
No, don't promote. What about a check on h5?
Check on h5? Sure. Yeah. Well, I don't really have a choice. I play here.
Now, oh no, the queen. The queen. I wanted to take the rook with the queen, but there's the white queen, which will take the rook back. The queen back.
Yeah, of course. Right. Of course. And promoting later, and you're going to be losing the rook.
That was what I missed. Oh, no.
No, it's tough. It is tough. But similar idea.
Well, then you have to go from the other side.
You have to go from the other side.
It has to be g4, then bishop.
Process of elimination, so that means we must go from the other side, and bishop g4 is the only winning move here, and it does do the deal. So now the point is that there's no b7, because, well, he still played it in the game, but the queen can take it. And the entire difference is that the queen is on g4, as opposed to the queen on a6, and that makes the whole difference.
My goodness.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite examples, because it's so like it's a really complicated one, and there's a lot of complicated. Well, you still got it. I think I'll give you a point for it because you found all the tough moves.
You are so gentle. I want to be one of your students. I am one of your students.
You are one of my students.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Okay, so
what?
Next one. I think we just have like 2 left, or we're getting to the end. Again, this is a rapid, and
but it barely started. There's already
early start, right? They went into a strange opening. This one, it was a strange opening. It was Najdorf. Well, not a Najdorf yet, but this is Sicilian, where after knight f6, instead of going for knight c3, a6, and regular Najdorf, Magnus went bishop c4. Mm-hmm. Which is really strange for the Sicilian. So then black took and queen h5. That's how we got to this position. So I've often, while I was looking through their games to look for the tactics for this lesson, I've often seen really strange choices, like really strange opening choices from these 2 players, and especially from Magnus. Like, I was under the impression that he's trying to deviate from normal opening lines and go into just a playable position. Like, he doesn't need to be better. He just wants to go into a playable position and get him out of theory, which makes me wonder, like, does this mean Nepo has some like secret preparation that he's scared of? Why is Magnus always deviating? But it could just be what he normally does against everyone else too in Rapid and Blitz, I mean. But I was under the impression that he deviates and goes into these strange openings a lot more than Nepo does.
Funny.
So this
all part of the
opening
big
choice
plan.
was strange. But question is now. So he played Queen H5, E6. How would you continue as white? So the position is more dangerous than it looks. What would you play as white here? What
Bishop
comes to mind?
B5 check.
Okay, why did you pick that one?
Because it just looks so correct. So there's a couple of options now. If the knight goes in between to D7, I can just take on E6 with my knight.
Okay.
And I think...
And if the bishop goes?
If the bishop goes, I'll do the same.
You'll do the same. Okay, looks good. Okay, well, I'm really surprised you found bishop B7, bishop B5 so quickly, because I thought it wasn't the most natural thing, but this is the right move. So you did it. You got it. So it's the only move that doesn't give white a worse position, in fact. So
wow.
That's it's really, that's why I'm telling you, I was surprised by this opening choice. And the reality is Magnus didn't actually go for this. He took on E6, which ended up being a mistake, which was what I was trying to trap you in. So knight E6 is what he played, but anyway, we'll get back to that. So bishop B5 is the only decent option, which gives white like something like equality. And that's why the opening choice was really surprising to me, because if you're going to play bishop C4 and queen H5, it's like you probably should know what happens after and not just take on E6. But okay, maybe it was just, an over the board improvisation. We can't, we'll never know, maybe just some miscalculation. But bishop B5, you were right about that move, so you get the full points for it. So yeah, after knight D7, knight E6. Here it's not so clear still, because you still have to calculate knight F6. But you're gonna take.
Yeah. I'm taking, and then what will happen then? I just take the knight on D7.
Yeah, you can do that.
That's
do that
actually
and then
the only
win
move again,
points.
I think.
Yeah, I think so too, because or else you're losing the knight.
Yeah.
So exactly, that's what happens. So that had to be calculated till the end. But other than that, there's no many other moves, right? Castles actually is fairly bad. It doesn't look too bad until you actually play this position, but you'll realize soon that it's a very, very bad Sicilian, with the whole center under black's control and being down upon as white. Just a strange position to get. And you were right about bishop d7, of course. Yeah, there's just bishop d7, there's just knight e6 and you win. So
yeah, I'm always looked at queen a5 check.
Yeah, you're right about that. But the thing is, we can just cover. I'm not sure what is best to cover with. Maybe bishop.
Bishop 2 works as well.
No, but my point was that you can never take because of knight c7. So not like you can't, but I'm just going to play knight c7 and win it back.
Yeah.
So yeah, during the game, he played knight e6, which at first glance looks really good. And looks like it wins the pawn back on e6, but in reality it is not, because after a simple move like queen e7, suddenly you realize that the bishop can't go anywhere. Terrible. Or else there's gonna be that discovered check with knight g3, which is what I guess a lot of people, it's what you learn. I think one of the first things you learn when you start playing, at least for me, it was, that trick in the Petrov, where both players take on e4 and e5. So that's a similar thing. Bishop moves, knight g3 wins the queen. So he had to sacrifice the bishop and play this on. So he still played on, but he's of course down a piece out of the opening. Yes. So that was a tactic to find, and you avoided it. So good for you. You found the right continuation. Yes.
I don't know how many points I have so far.
You're doing good. I'll tell you in the end. I think we're almost at the end. Are we at the end? Yes, we are. This is the last position.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, we're we're almost at an hour already, but yeah.
Oh my God, that's so long.
Yeah, but it's fine. I like that, of course. So
Okay.
yeah, it's great
So
content.
this one was a blitz game, and that's the last example we have. This comes from an over-the-board, some Grand Chess Tour blitz tournament, and there's opposite side castling. Both sides are counterattacking each other. How should black react to white's attack with a3? So now you're going to be playing for Magnus's side. Magnus is black. How would you react to this a3 attack?
I would take the pawn on c2 immediately.
Immediately, and you would be wrong.
Damn it.
I mean, what happens after
bishop f5? Yeah, I was a bit quick. Was a bit too quick. Yeah. That's very, very easy. I thought of the king is moving, but of course you can just put a piece in between.
Okay, one more chance. I'm deducting half a point from you, but if you get it, you'll get half.
Your poor kids, they're crying right now. All right. So there is a check. That doesn't help much. Or does it? Check, king, check, queen takes. Meh. Oh. Yeah. I think there's those stupid threats with the knight on h5. So what I'm calculating, just for you to know, knight a2 check. King goes to, I mean, the king has to go to b1, right? Then knight c3 check. I probably take. Queen takes. Oh dear, it's going bad already. So I thought about shifting the rook, either the e6 rook or the a6 rook, but there's a bishop in the
Neither
way,
of them
course.
Can, though. Yeah. That's the problem. Neither of them
and
can.
And the bishop
do that.
going to f5, making more threats, but yeah, it doesn't look as if anything is gonna happen here.
Yeah, so it's not knight a2.
Good, then I will do it. How is it called? There is a tactic name which is called the angler or the fishpole. That was it. So I'm not scared about white taking the knight at all. I couldn't care less, actually, because I'm threatening the rook to a1. So I will immediately go bishop f5 now.
Bishop f5, you got it. So we're completing development and combining it with all of the threats that we had before. Okay, you'll get half a point for this because of your rushed decision to say knight c2.
That'll teach you to rush.
So bishop f5, you see, you thought of it and you got it pretty easily. Bishop f5. So now we have, of course, big threats on c2, but other than that, as you've also mentioned, we have the threats of rook a1 if white ever decides to capture, which he did in the game.
Oh wow! I was looking at this. It looks so scary. The knight to h5, right?
Not really. I have queen h6 at the very least. If you want to just prevent that threat for now.
Okay. That's a check even.
Yeah, queen h6 at the very least, but might be something even better.
Good.
With the mate. So here the last bit of the tactic is to find what happens on king b1. He didn't play king b1, but king b1 I think was a nicer finish. Very typical one. I think you would know this would be a good puzzle rush.
It has to be b. Okay, which one is quicker? Well, rook a1 check. King takes. Oh gosh, wait, that's not working. Sorry. There's still
it's not working because the bishop is on covering on a6.
So of course.
So the queen is not coming there.
No. So no, the rook doesn't give a check there either. Or how about queen to b6 then?
It's a bit slow. You can do it faster.
Bishop takes c2.
Right. I think that's a really beautiful finish where you're just going to play rook a8 next and there is nothing you can do about it.
That's brutal.
So that would have been
bishop between.
That would have been the tactic on king b1. Instead, he played knight d5, which didn't really change the outcome of the game because black just took another pawn on b2, made some more attacks, and after something like this, white just resigned because there's mate soon in 2 moves. I guess this is the fastest way. So yeah, bishop f5 though was the move to find. It was the only it was the only good move to continue the attack going and not give counter chances to the opponent. So that was it for my quick tactical run of the Magnus and Nepo games.
Wow.
And out of 8, I think I had 8.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Guess how many points you got?
I hope I got 50%.
You did get over 50%. You got 5.5 out of 8.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
You just want to make me feel good now.
No,
I got 5.5. It felt like I got like. It felt as if I got 2 to 3 correct, maybe.
No, I was generous.
Well, that's great. I think I can compete with one of those champions. 2022. Just you wait.
Now you're fully ready for the Magnus and Nepomniachtchi match.
Magnus Nepomniachtchi, yeah.
I say it the Russian way.
That would be nice to make like those face scans where you put those faces together and see how their child looks like if they had the super prodigy, you know? You take the face of this one and then you see how the child looks. I would like to. Probably it's already existing in many cases. Anyway, how many points did you at home get? Was that tough? Did you know all of it? Did you know it because you knew the games already? Did you really think and find the solutions? Were there some really tough ones? Yes.
If you got less than Arne, it's probably because I wasn't there being generous. So
I agree. Yeah. So be generous.
So don't worry, you still got more than Arne did.
Yeah. Not that hard. Okay, thank you so much, Svitlana. And everybody, we're looking forward to this, but also we see each other next week. Until then.
Bye.